We're ready for you.
Hello.
Awesome.
Testing.
Yeah, it's
1,
It's very
2,
sensitive.
3.
You don't need to stick your head close to it.
I gotta go. Oh, sorry. Kalamazoo.
You
Sorry.
can't. That's why I had it not full screen.
I did hide it. I don't like that.
You have to live with it until the other one's done.
I've lived with this long, and it's almost killed me a couple times. It's amazing. You used to fly here. I should probably allow that, shouldn't I? That's kind of
all you want to.
annoying.
It's never going to go away.
Wow. I had all my tabs. Just so you guys know, I had all my tabs set up.
Green like that on the calendar, that doesn't show.
Yeah.
Well,
I like the greasy stuff.
I like to be prepared. Tabs open, which they are on my account when I open up, but
Right, Stu Baker? We're not going
we're still on
that greasy stuff.
Can't live forever.
Sharon.
Mr. Studebaker, how do you get such piano?
Track coach.
Oh, yeah.
That's hand really easy. Born in Southern California. You're recording. Keep going.
No.
Yeah.
Let's start.
It's because I wear sleeves most of the time because I'm.
So once you're logged on to Moodle,
Well, I
you get to
do.
go
I
live.
do keep my shoulders covered because I
You don't have to
really
log on
burned
just on the
once.
side. You just click on it. You're automatically logged in.
Well, Gmail?
Doesn't matter. You can go to any of them, but we're specifically learning from Mr. Wassom about Google Apps, so just go to Docs.
Well, we'd like to think we are, but we can't even get it to go
What are
to.
you doing?
I'm trying to get to the trail.
Can I get this
Wassom, Google Apps, National Trail Tech in Service 2012.
All right, how do you do that,
That's
man?
not what mine said. He said click on doc. This is what? Is that what's supposed to come up? Your new account on service? I didn't know we even had it. I knew we had it because you sent an email about it.
I was like,
Yeah.
but I thought you guys didn't respond to my email. You didn't like it.
You can hit yours.
Look at how snappy this is. Isn't that a snappy processor running there?
Every quarter thing has to stay there. You can't hide it.
Yeah, you can.
Just
Not
not
while
when
it's
it's rendering a movie.
Oh.
That's kind of your clue. Hello, I'm sucking all the resources out of your
I wanted an
computer.
excuse to turn it off. It's getting in my way.
Why is that there?
Why do you have a Google Apps NTLS service and we don't have
I have no idea.
So yeah, now you can do all the Google app stuff right to your log on.
I don't know very much about Google junk.
Which before that, when you couldn't do the apps.
Oh.
Are you trying to wait till hers is done, or? Oh,
This is a Snaz's 486 out of shame.
I was thinking it was what was it,
If
the
I click on that,
80,
will I get the same thing?
the Tandy's old,
Mr. Poole.
Is there
the
one before the
8046. There was like an 8046 or something like that.
He doesn't want to watch it anymore. If I click on this, I get the same thing.
Okay, good job.
Okay, thank you, Mr. Poole, for your excellent tech support.
It's a
Just
spreadsheet.
want to make sure I got that on there.
not what he's doing.
Not what he's doing, okay.
Well, maybe it is. I don't know. Huh.
Holy cow.
Maybe by the time I get there, it'll be ready.
He's making fun of how slow it's going. Yeah, here it is.
It's not my fault. It's Mrs. Cobb's fault.
Now,
No, I can hear the noise.
need to be nice to her. She won't do one.
He stoked the squirrel.
Are you sure you don't mind that?
No, absolutely. There's no way to do that.
Oh, I know. I didn't know if you brought I didn't know if you brought it.
Just in case nobody took any, I got what I would actually eat, so
Okay,
I can always just stash it in the closet.
Now, there must be a way to make this full screen, like showing.
All right, is everybody logged in?
How does this work? How do you
Okay,
like
first of all,
slideshow.
why use Google Docs?
Do you want
What
it
do you
to
mean
log
it
in?
so it works like a slideshow?
It's very Microsoft-like. And when I say Microsoft-like, that means just the controls at the top
There we
look
go.
similar
Thank you.
enough that when you look at it, you can usually figure it out. If you can use Word or PowerPoint or Excel, you can. It's free, which is the best thing. I'm going to talk a little bit about how it works, obviously. One of the great things is that it has apps for both the eye tools and the Droid stuff. But the thing I like the most about it, because as a teacher, is the thought of saving, which is the whole thing about the no excuses thing. Kids have no excuse anymore to say, oh, I worked on it all weekend and it's gone. Right. No, not so much. Because my 8th graders, that's all I'm doing.
Is it real slow all the time?
No. That's advanced. Because it's saving to the server, so it's logging up
Okay.
the whole thing from this room going to the hub. Okay. All right, so I'm going to have you guys access the collaborative doc. That is just for you guys to brainstorm ideas. So wherever you are in whatever browser you're in, just open another tab and go to the EdTech Teach. What you have to do is type in the address bar EdTech Teach. So you could click on Firefox. You can just right here click and just type EdTech Teach. And that's it right there. Or else we're the .com.
.org?
Okay, we're the .com.
It's not.
I can never remember that one right there. We're the .com, I think. Yep, that's it. And then you're going to log in up at the top, just like you log into Moodle. So it's
This is back up. And it's all screw
Once you get logged in, scroll all the way down, and then towards the bottom it should say NT Conference Materials. Click on that.
Okay.
And then it should say 2012 Technology Skills and Service. And you're going to click on the Google Apps 412. That's actually the actual presentation going.
Where's the last one I'm clicking on? Technology
The
conference
first
hand.
one.
Click back
412
on this.
Wassom.
And now click
Oh.
on the Google Apps brainstorming document. Click back on this one. And go to the brainstorming one. So the brainstorming one, you keep open the whole time. You keep that open the whole time. Now, if you look up at the top right corner of yours, not mine, while you're in that brainstorming document, you should see little color dots over there. That's all the people that are looking at it. So, like, if you're logged in, like Steve's logged in right now, I'm logged in on 2 different.
Why does mine only say one?
Well, you guys might be anonymous if you didn't log into.
She's green.
I logged in.
Because Kathy's in. She's the green one. Kathy's the green one. The green one, so.
I don't see that. Me neither.
So you can refresh it, and it should.
Is that what's
And
wrong?
refresh on Firefox is over by the search box.
Teams up there, it still says.
I do not know. It should show everybody that's on there. Now, if you haven't actually clicked on the document, go ahead and click on it somewhere.
Run me down.
And in the ideas area, just type something in there you think to use a form. And it doesn't matter what it is. Because just think of anything that you could use a Word document for, a spreadsheet for, or a PowerPoint. Like something you might use with kids in your class, because that will help you probably the most. If there's something you can think of that you would use in your class, that's obviously going to help you out. But if not, just think of something you could use for your own.
You're the green one. coming up on yours? When I type on mine, Jeff, it comes up on hers.
Right. Is this
Now this is the comment section
so what
right here.
idea?
Right.
Mine's in short.
Right here.
Okay.
There you go.
Okay.
Now, Jeff, when I just typed, it showed up on her computer.
Yeah, it was green.
Oh,
Here
okay.
goes-
Yeah,
Oh, here I am.
that's what you should see. Once
Yeah.
you're all in the document, you start doing things, it'll start color coding who's doing what.
Okay. Time walk through. Okay. I'm on, where do you want me to
Go back here.
What I use it for.
Go back here.
Or that must be that one on yours. Yours is back.
Story year to day.
Close that.
Year to year, you can go back to your field day units. Just put field day.
Go back to the ed tech page. And
If I'm
that
right.
one, that's probably good. And you're gonna click on the brainstorm one.
Oh, gotcha.
I didn't see this is right. Let me show it.
Yeah.
Mine is pink.
So just,
Okay. Oh,
then get Mr. Poole happy again. Yeah, he's still supposed to install the correct, I don't know what it's called. Okay, on that, on the Google Doc document, the Word part, that thing you can have project going on with kids, you can have up to 50 users on that thing at one time working on the same thing. Now, the PowerPoint and Excel, not as many, but suffice it to say, one of the really good things about that, not just for the kids, but you too, is like over the summer, if you want to plan something together, you don't have to get together except on your machine.
I have a question on it. Because I did a project where I used Google Docs, and I was scared to have kids be editors. I just let them comment on things, because
Right.
I didn't want, like, whoops, Johnny erased Susie's stuff. Like, have you used it, and have
Yeah.
they done that?
Yeah.
That's good.
Yeah, and that's part of why I'm doing it with 8th graders now, and supposedly I'm supposed to be 7th graders next year, so we're going to have it down even one more level when we're supposed to start using it. But yeah, they definitely will figure out that, because I had kids saying, John sucks or whatever, and it's like, but the thing is, let's see if I can get to it without my,
whenever you cook something.
going back to my desk here for a second.
This is a new one. No, I don't think I would call that purple. Here's purple.
Purple. I'm going now.
Hey, I'm going to skip around. So here, okay, sir, Melissa's question about what do you do about that? If you go into file, you can go to see revision history right here, and this you to start. Now down underneath that, you can go to show detail revisions, and then with it. What you can do then is, for that kid that had their document messed up, if somebody messed around, well, you can go back as far as the original,
Oh, okay.
and it's going to show it to you over here. Now, on a PowerPoint, the good thing is, how you got the different little slides over at the left-hand side, it will actually highlight the color of the kid that made what change. So you just look here and say, oh, that was... it ends up being one of the girls or whatever. And you're like, okay, I know it was you. But so one, you can take care of the discipline thing you need to. And the second thing is you can revert it back to where it's okay.
So I shouldn't be scared about letting them do
No,
that.
because you can that's the other great thing is, no matter how bad you screw something up, you can always go back to it
Okay.
to some point where you were like, I like that.
At least workable that you can.
And you
Right.
can see who did it too. I mean, that's the big thing. Is that, well, because I have one shared that has every single computer in the district, what kind of
One
computers
kid
they
does it
are.
all, right?
Exactly. Yeah, if one kid's trying to do it all, you can see that too.
Where'd you get that?
That one. Well, you're right there. You mean, where do I get that? You go to File, See Revision.
Gotcha.
And then this button shows the more detailed things of it. So you can see already over at the left the changes that you guys made as you were doing that.
Yes.
Now within
You
this,
need to move that up there.
move what?
My 80, I want to look at you, but I'm going to look at that.
Oh, that's okay. Oh,
I mean,
you know how my.
like you take your
I know.
put that there.
Don't seem to be able to
So
do
that,
that.
one of the other things that you can see actually who is actively, it'll flash back and forth and say who's editing, like Dan's doing something right now. Because I had a link on here, and I don't see my link anymore.
I didn't do that.
Maybe I gotta get rid of this thing. That's it. You can't do it with that out. I can go here. Yeah.
You stopped your recording. I know you did. Never mind, it's still down there.
He's really worried about these recordings.
Hey, if you didn't know, you can see who changed stuff too. Click the minimize button, please. Thank you. I need back my slideshow. And let's see. Oops. All right, so on the like part, just getting back to kind of like what we were talking about. The thing that it's like, when I say that Google Docs are like Microsoft, I got to kind of put a little disclaimer on that. It's not like the newest version at all. This is the newest version of Word and all that stuff has tabs across and stuff. It looks more like XP and anything. So if you say, Wassom said this looks just like it, and then you open your school, it does not look like the newest version of the Office tools. Okay, so this is just a picture of what it looks like in the slideshow. And like I told you before, you still have all your slide previews over here, file edit, all the main menu tools are there. There is no file save as, because you're not saving it ever to your machine. The only place you're ever saving it is the cloud, the Google Cloud. So you're saving on their server. So what it will say when you drop down the file is rename. Rename means save.
That's why I don't actually see my cell phone on the color chart area. Collaborators.
Why?
I don't.
You don't?
No.
Because you know where you are. You're there.
Well, I figured I'd at least have a color.
You are a color on there, so for sure. Okay, again, it is free. I looked up a couple of different prices on like XP and stuff like that on eBay the other day, and actually yesterday. And for Office XP, it was $35. Was the cheapest one to see. Microsoft Office 2010 started around $100 and went up from there.
That $35 one's stolen, by the way.
Probably, yeah. But I'm just saying, because if it was me and somebody is like, hey, then I'm like, oh, it is probably stolen. Okay, so how does it work? We just talked a little bit about the fact that it's in the cloud, which means it's on a server for Google somewhere at a huge farm. So there's no software. So that's one good thing. You don't ever have to like upgrade. It's always upgraded for you. You don't have to load it on a new machine. It's too cool.
You do, however, have to have a good browser.
That is true.
If you use Internet Explorer, you will be unhappy 100%. If you use an old version of Firefox, you'll be unhappy 50%. You need to use the newest Firefox or Chrome.
And the reason, and the main place you would see that is on presentations.
But it works with Safari.
You don't even get it.
Now, I've never used it with Safari. Chrome, obviously, it works
I don't know.
very well with it.
That's on those pear-shaped computers.
I would guess it does though, because they up until I think like 3 years ago.
I'm sure it does.
Explorer's 9
Yeah, they
is not
didn't
as good as what
even
they're
like
playing.
up until probably 3 years ago. They weren't even supporting
Oh.
touches and stuff. But now, like the one I put on my wife's phone for her is called
Yeah, you
Docs with an X. It works. It works great. So you know you
Better
can
than
edit
8.
it on your phone.
It's
or
better
your
than 8.
touch or your pad or whatever that you
got. So I actually like that app better than what I have on my drawer. So I'm still arguing because I'm between phones and I'm trying to decide, do I go to the dark side or stay true right through?
You what?
Do you have something else what you'd like to add?
I walked out, so I'm not sure. You may have already said this. Did you already turn on the advanced features PowerPoint so they can
No.
do that stuff? Okay, you're gonna do that later. I'm sorry, I'm interrupting.
No, you want to. I'll turn that on here just a second. And obviously, the good thing about this is all you need is internet access. And used to, when you say that, most people will be like, "What?" But now, the majority of people, even if you're out and about, obviously, coffee shop, McDonald's, whatever, you're going to be able to get on. Which is another pro for keeping the kids engaged in it, because a lot of them are like, well, I can't get on the internet at home. Do you have a touch? Yeah. Well, hello. Do you have to go to McDonald's? Do you have to go to the library? So it really, you walk by your neighbor's house, hey, there's somebody. It's like, scared. It's like, no good. Actually, I'm going to interject this, but Lockingren, they told us the other day, is thinking about becoming a wireless community, which means they're going to get service from somewhere, and then they will sell the service, and basically they'll have access points all the way around the community that you could get on. Basically, you go down on the lake on the boat.
Don't
They could
come to
charge-
my house with your phone. Then.
They could
I have
charge.
nothing.
They could charge $5 a
It
year,
would be really cheap.
and they would. I mean, the number of wireless and access points they'd have to put in there to cover the whole community would be so minimal.
But how long will it be until they make you drink the Kool-Aid?
They're having to import it from the dome. Okay.
All will be a similar.
And yeah, they're treating the water from the dome.
But is that what the smell is? Indian?
I don't
Is
know.
that what you're
That's
talking
No,
fertilizer.
That's the finished product.
about? Never mind.
Okay, and we already talked about the fact that it supports all the major stuff now, Droids and Apple stuff. And of course laptops then. So I did put a couple of links, so if you get onto the actual presentation, there's the one I talked about for Apple. Here's one I actually use for my smartphone. So those are actually links that take you right to, this one goes to that Apple's iTunes store, and this one goes right to like the Android store. Okay, auto saving, we did talk about that a little bit. And I think probably after accessibility, where can I get on it? This is probably the second best thing about it. Just the fact that you have all those different versions that you can go back and look at. I mean, the kids, we can get them to think about, hey, let me just start my document on Google, because I haven't got this on slide, but I'll tell you now that one of the things, I just told Cindy Kerman about this, one of the things about using Google Docs is you can have an unlimited amount of Google Docs that you create within Google. Unlimited storage. Anything that you import and you say, I'm going to keep this a Microsoft PowerPoint, that gets charged up to, I don't know what the space is. It's still pretty good size, because I actually imported a bunch of stuff off my T drive so that I could get to it at home. But if you actually converted all those files to a Google Doc, you could basically have your whole T drive at
So you
home.
can convert PowerPoint to?
Yep,
Yeah.
just upload it.
Yeah.
No convert it
Actually,
all
when
for
you upload it, it's going to ask you, do you want to convert it?
Now, how well does it convert it without?
I give it a B.
Yeah. The presentation stuff is not nearly as woo-hoo as PowerPoint, but it's like, what do you really?
You're gonna
I
lose
still
some
have-
animations.
You know, I don't use a lot of that anyhow, because I think it takes, a lot of times it takes away from.
Yeah. And my
the
sixth
kids
grade
paying
kids,
attention to the stuff.
sixth grade
Yeah.
kids, I never even showed, when we did.
I use pictures, but they go with my stuff. I
Right.
don't use this movement stuff.
Well, and that's what you lose. You lose
Yeah.
animations. But if you're a straight
And there are some.
information PowerPoint guy, then pretty much you won't lose anything.
There are some basic animations, and again, that goes back to what Brian was saying about making sure you have the most recent browser, because it won't allow you to make any transitions or effects. They call it animations, if you don't have like the newest Firefox or Chrome.
So it's really set up for Chrome and Firefox.
Yeah.
It really is.
I only use it with Firefox. Jeff only uses it with Chrome, I think, but they both work really well. Internet Explorer, you will not get the features. I mean, it's just kind of like using Moodle with Internet Explorer. Internet Explorer is not, it's not compatible with everything. And Firefox, I've never.
Moodle is not compatible with what?
Internet Explorer, same thing. There's a lot of things that don't work right.
Oh, I was gonna say, because I've downloaded my grades on it.
And that's,
Yeah,
wouldn't you
Internet
probably
Explorer.
agree that's probably because Moodle is written by the shareware.
It's shareware.
So most people that write shareware are kind of anti-Microsoft anyway, and so they don't care whether it's supported on Internet Explorer or not. Most people that write code for websites try to do it so it'll hit Safari, and so it'll hit Internet Explorer and Firefox and Chrome.
But you have to,
Supposed to.
it requires extra coding to make it accessible with Internet Explorer. Like, there's no different coding between Chrome and Firefox and Safari, but then to make it work on Internet Explorer, just like the elementary school report cards, I would have to recode huge portions of that to make it work on something because their code doesn't match everybody else's.
I don't have any trouble with Internet Explorer.
You would only have problems when you go to print reports. Like, you can't print your elementary school grade cards through Internet Explorer.
Okay.
They won't look right.
Yeah.
I just use Internet Explorer.
I mean, I can add one here, no, I can actually add, but I never write it down. Okay.
And I do want to add, this is a huge thing, that if you use Moodle to submit papers and stuff, anymore I'm having kids write the paper in Google Docs and then just send me a link to the paper instead, because that auto-saving is huge. Your computer shuts down on you, freezes up or something, you go back and it's right there. You may have lost 10 seconds worth of work because it continually saves. You'll see it say up in the top right
How
corner,
good is it
saving.
with the spell check and the grammar check compared to Word?
I don't have a good comparison. I mean, it seems to
I don't
work
think
pretty
the
good.
spell check is working here, or I don't know. I've not seen
You mean
it.
on Google Docs? You don't think it
I
is?
typed something in wrong and it didn't tell me, but on Casey's computer, like I looked over in hers and it was underlined in red. On this, I saw she says wrong.
Well, I've seen that too.
It's gone now.
It's gone.
I don't know.
Because really, that should be nothing on our end, because
No,
that's the whole thing about, you
Unless you
know,
have to turn something on. Maybe that would be
it's
why
setting
it's
it
working
back.
on one and
like
one.
when we installed
I don't know.
Office on these, we forgot the what?
Yeah, for a
It
while,
didn't
Office
automatically.
wasn't
It did
working
not
right.
automatically install the language pack for English.
Nobody
And that's
nobody
something-
forgot. It just didn't do it.
Yeah. Don't blame me. I mean,
But you know, you don't have to worry. You shouldn't have to worry about that with Google stuff.
Yeah, it took a while before we got the spell check working when we took it off.
And again, what Melissa was talking about earlier is what I got there, and that is see who did
I've
what
never
when,
had
and
to work on any other version.
stuff.
Just automatically did English.
And actually, you can do it. And again, if you're not sure where this was, seeing who did what when, you go to File and then go to the revision history. That's where you're going to see that at. You see this on the slideshow. If you look at it again later, that's what that means.
And you print just fine off of it and so forth. No problem there.
Yeah, it generally
So,
converts it to a
when my
PDF
kids-
and opens it as PDF. When you hit print, with most Google,
And it saves it into their Google, area, right?
Yeah.
Instead of putting it on their H drive. or
Right.
whatever.
Purple is my second favorite color. If you didn't notice, over at the right-hand side, there's a little button at the top that says comment, where people can comment on things. It's basically like a chat. So again, while they're working, they could be either on task and chatting properly, or same thing. It's basically training them what's acceptable, what's not. So if and or when you choose to do this, you just got to set the bar high when you start, because if you're sitting at your desk and they're off working on laptops and they're all sitting there going, first time last year I did this with 8th graders, you know, within 3 minutes of when I opened it up, they were like, you know, they're writing stuff that's inappropriate. It's like, so you just go back to where the share button is, and you suddenly tell it, no, you're not, you're only allowed to view, and then somebody screams, hey, I can't, and then suddenly the attention comes back to you, and then you just, you know, calmly say, okay, that's how easy it is for me to shut you off and limit you on what you can do. We can either do this right or do this wrong. Of course, there's always one or two more that'll push you one more time, and then you get that taken care of, and you're okay. And again, that's basically live while you're working on that. You know, real time. There's obviously a little bit of a delay, but I had when I was working on this, I had my laptop going and my desk machine going, so I sit and watch it. Because I know before when I worked on people at UD when I was doing my master stuff, there would be a delay. But I mean, sometimes when you're talking on your cell phone, there's actually a delay. You just don't realize it because you're not seeing it right beside you. Well, that does look like you.
I bet.
Is that what you're talking about?
Yeah, that's flashing.
Like, or a Phoenix.
See?
Or a drag. Okay, so creating a document. Okay, so I'm going to have you guys actually start making some stuff now. So go into your Google account through Moodle. Now that's one thing, if I didn't explain that to you, that's the only way you can get to your Trail Google stuff, is you have to go to Moodle first and click on that link. It like auto directs you, right? Because you cannot go to like Google and type in your Wassom at nationaltrail.us. It's going to be like, sorry, no can do.
And that was to make it easier.
Yeah.
So students wouldn't have to log in somewhere else. And it was to try to force the students to use Moodle more too. So they wouldn't try to go directly to Google.
We gotta sign in again.
No, you should already be in there unless it's just been inactive. So it's probably down here.
I'm not using it.
Oh, it's coming up on mine.
Courses.
It's coming up on
Oh, there's a shit
Yeah.
there.
Right.
because I spelled receive wrong and it popped up.
Okay, tap it on that.
Yeah.
And for some reason, I'll just tell you this because I think it's worth saying. Sometimes the link to the documents in Moodle there, for whatever reason, won't go straight there. I don't know why. Sometimes it hiccups. You can clear out your history for the last hour and then close out your browser and open it back up. Usually it will go right back to it. But if that doesn't work, you can go to the Gmail and then up at the top, because up at the top when you're in Gmail, you hit, like right here, like I'm looking at my document, I'm in the document section, but if I open the mail, I see the same kind of things across here. So I can open it and mail and then select documents and it'll go there. Really, you should only have to click one. Oh, there, yeah, you got double click. There it is. It's right there. Those were previously.
Can you take it from this and take it back to Word to do the editing? Because the editing is terrible on it.
You can copy and paste it. I do that all the
Because
time.
the spell checker really is working. It just doesn't catch hardly anything.
Yeah. I've not noticed that, I guess. I don't know. I probably should.
No, I actually
because
use
my
them
spelling's
out.
not that great, but have you
I mean,
ever
I
had
find
any
to
problem with
spell
that,
things
Brian?
wrong and it's almost never catchy.
What?
Have you ever had any problem with editing, like in Google Docs, as far as not catching spelling? Because I know Melissa said something about it. Now Steve's saying
No, it's really bad.
It's-
It's not good at all. It is. It's really
because
bad.
actually my kids in class commented about it one day. You hate to say, well, just throw it into Word.
No, why?
right?
What's
'Cause
it
it's like,
to
okay,
do?
why
No,
am
I
not
haven't.
Word
I've
then?
never heard.
I've tried to misspell all kinds of things and it almost never catches it. Every once in a while it catches something.
Oh, you're expecting it to catch it while you're typing it like Microsoft does.
Yes.
The difference is it's not running on your computer. It's running on a server in California. So it could take a while. Unless you go and tell it. It's not, I mean, that's the difference when you're using a web app. You can't expect it to do it exactly as you're typing necessarily.
So if you tell it to spell check those.
Yeah, I bet you would find it in a heartbeat if you went and just did the spelling checker.
It's doing it for me. What word are you trying to spell? Every word I spell wrong is what?
It is, huh? It's not catching what I was typing.
And it's possible you could be on a totally different server than what
mine's
he's
good.
on. Even because it's not like they've got one giant server. They've got a whole bunch of
Are you trying to do a Word document, or are you doing PowerPoint presentations?
Word document. I don't know why
We're on the
it's
same
Word
thing,
document.
yeah.
We're working on the
And that's
same
the thing,
document.
yeah. It's the document I created, so I would think it would.
I don't know. Is it because so many people are in it at the same time that it's not spelling checking the whole time?
Because why else would they have it set up so you could get so many people at once?
Can we? I want to point out one thing while we're here
See,
before
they
we.
did it okay.
Can everybody look
It's
up at
working
Jeff's
better now.
screen? Everybody look up there. The one thing you do have to do to get all the features of Google Docs is you have to go over here to Settings
Okay.
and Document Settings, and you have to turn on. See. Over here at Editing, see the two
Oh,
tabs
yeah, I
here.
don't even have a
I have to go to
language
Editing,
for
and I
that.
have to click to create new presentations using the latest versions of present. If I don't have that clicked, I don't get all the options.
Where's the other thing you're
This
clicking?
third one is not checked, and you have to save that, and then it does everything that it's capable of. So it's just over here under Settings, that little
Here.
cog
Okay.
here.
Show it again, would you?
You click on it, and you go to Document Settings.
Okay.
And then you have to go to the Editing, and you want to make sure all three of those things are checked.
Because the last one, if you don't have it checked, you
And
create
si-
a PowerPoint, and then you realize you didn't, you have to go back.
So you got to get the kids to do that right away to start with.
I don't know why it.
Well,
There,
it only has the bottom.
I have them.
All
I would
three
have
of
them all
you
checked.
But usually by default, that's not checked.
Well, the other, mine has the bottom, but not the top.
It is.
That's the top two aren't on.
I would check them all.
That one, I had to check. I know.
Yeah,
6
I know
months
I did.
ago,
Maybe
the
it's-
first
maybe
time I
it's-
did it, my kids were coming in. That was how I learned about this stuff, because the kids would come in, they're like, they tried to open their presentation they worked on here at home, and it would go straight to a slideshow. So you couldn't edit it, because they didn't have the most recent browser. And it actually had a little pop-up at the top that said you need the most recent browser to use some of the features. They just weren't reading that.
I want to show you how easy it is to get your stuff into Google. Granted, we're logged on to Sharon, and I don't know how many documents she has in her
it's
T
working.
drive.
So you can actually comment on, like, over here, like, if you had all the kids share their documents with you, like,
You can comment
I
right
commented,
on it.
like, this is how you
Yep.
spell Mississippi.
That's how I do my papers with them.
That's how I do mine, too.
They submit their papers to me. I comment on them, and if I do it as a group project, like I have a paired, like you write a paper, you write a paper. Now you have to share to your table mate, and you have to comment on it, and then I'll grade after you've commented. Expect that you're going to get points on how well you correct her. The same as she's going to,
When you fix it, so she said, this is how you spell Mississippi, then you go in and you fix it, does the comment disappear?
the comment does not disappear unless you delete the comment. You can delete the comment. There's a little X to get rid of the
Once they
comment.
go fix it, then I
Yeah.
can go through it.
But if Sharon has I'm sure she has at least one document. in her
To
T
take
drive.
it back to Word, you copy and paste it.
Or
And
cut
then
it. I mean, it's up to
Copy
you.
and paste it.
I will copy it. That way, at least I still got my original. Which I can always, even if I screw it up,
And-
I go back into my history.
Well, let me show you one thing on that though. Okay, first of all, this is how easy it is to upload. I just drag over here and it uploads the file. I can drag straight into Google Docs. At least I think I did. There we go. So I just drag that document into Google Docs, and it should.
I had
But that takes up more space, right?
Right.
No.
If you don't convert it.
If you don't convert it, why did it not give me the little pop-up?
The other thing is,
Okay.
it'll only let you drag. I mean, I think you can drag multiple files if you check them, can't you?
There we go. Okay, so it's
You
now
can
it's
pull a
uploading.
whole file in if you use Chrome. It'll let you grab a whole file of stuff.
You're just dropping it into your mail file.
Right, I dragged it right into Google Docs. Now, when I open that up, and I'm assuming there's something to do with the sixth graders.
You would have.
Yeah. So this is a sixth grade document. I can later on, there we go, I want to turn it into a Google Doc. So I just said File, Export to Google Docs. So now that document is a Google Doc, and that's why I have all the rest of it. And this, Jeff's saying, this one doesn't count on my space because I just turned it into a Google Doc. So if I go back here to home, you can see this one's a Word file. See how it has a W?
Right.
This one's a Google Doc. So I can later just go and trash that one.
Okay.
And
File convert to
Okay.
sharing. And then if I want to take this back to Word, copy it, I do this. I can check this. I can take it over here, and I can go. So is this unloading? File, and it will let me. As soon as I get there, I'm too fast. Download as a Word document, and now it's just going to save it back as a Word document. So it just saved it right back, and there's the Word document if I click on it. So you can upload a Word document, and it will convert it to a Google, and you can download the Google document and convert it back to a Word.
But
So
when you have your kids do stuff, you have them do it directly.
I just have them all do it right on Google Docs.
Yeah, because I did a project and it was a nightmare, like upload.
No, if they want to at home work on it as a Word document and then upload it, I don't care. But when they're at school, we're doing it on Google Docs because I want to see them working on it.
Yeah.
I want to be able to comment on it. I want their teammate, if it's a team project, to be able to to see at the same time. And as they start to go off and do something else, I had some students. Is that the problem right there?
That one should be on. See that? That's a suggestion.
Yeah.
There's no mistake there. But sometimes it doesn't turn off.
Them doing something and these guys doing something.
But I don't know if it's actually changing for the first time.
Jeff, are you going to talk about folders and labels and cleaning it up too?
Go back to one thing you said about T drive and putting it on here. Did you say?
All I did was
From this place
I
here.
did is drag it right there on the yeah. You have to be here at Documents Home,
Okay.
and then I just took it and I dragged it over here, and I had to kind of hang it out there a second. And when I load, it went and I uploaded.
For the browser, which is Google Chrome, then you can actually save more folders.
It's got to be smaller than 10 millibytes. Won't let me transform my PowerPoint.
Yeah, I did just start
It's
really figuring out
You may
how
need
to
to lower the graphics.
this
on
part
here.
here, the collection part. When I started working with my matrix, because I like to experiment.
Oh, he did that.
Go ahead and click on the my
Spell check.
collection.
Are you talking to me?
Yeah. When you go
It's
to
like
my-
folders. It's like
Yeah.
folders. But here's the thing, and here's what I've had teachers do. Okay, I want to make sure you don't do this, and I've had students do this too. If let's say I want to add this right here, Google Brainstorming, into this collection. I'm going to make a collection. I just right click. I'll make a new one.
Well, or you can click on it, because actually I wanted you to do that so that they see that.
Okay, so I add a collection here, and I'm going to call it Google Apps. Now here's what you don't want to, and you can color it too.
Added it.
Okay, so I'm going to go back to Home, and I'm going to add this Google Brainstorming to Google Apps. Okay. Now, see how it shows Google Apps there? That doesn't mean I can now delete this one, and that's what I've had students do. Well, it's over here in Google Apps. It's over here in Google Apps, so I can delete the one that's in my home. There's only one copy. It just exists in, or it can be viewed in those places. Now, if I don't want to see it at home, I can right-click and say hide. Where's it at? I'm trying to read your screen. Don't show in home. So now I've taken it off that. Like my home folder is all cleaned up. You have to go to Google Apps now to find this one, which I can right-click and say show in home too, and now it's in his home. And if you go to all items, it shows everything that Jeff's got, which he may have way more. Because if you start doing this, you're going to have 100 Word documents from your students. You don't want all those showing up there. I put them in folders. I make one for Brown 1 and one for Brown 3.
You don't want them all showing up there.
Jeff shared them all to Dan.
No,
He's teaching
for
his
them
class.
to practice, for the 8th graders to practice. I said, okay,
Some of them love
you're going to
practice.
import all your stuff that you've done for any of your 8th grade teachers, and now I want you to share those. He goes in, what the heck are you doing? Go to like
94
emails
files
all
you
at
can
once.
If they share something with us, do they have the option to share it to Brown folder 1?
No.
Okay.
They share it to you, and then you put it in your own labels. So, like when I have my kids do it, I tell them to name your file B1 dash your name dash the project name, so that all the Brown ones show up together, and I can drag them all over in the Brown 1 folder. Because if you let them name it anything they want to, you're like, oh.
That's really something we ought to talk about, trying to standardize, because that would be a good idea.
Because when they just start showing up, you don't want to open them all up to figure out whose they are.
Right here. All right,
Mine are all
show me
named
and grab
the same
a bunch
thing,
from the one time.
so at least those are all.
To put them in a folder,
Yeah.
you can just go like this.
Oh, you can check them?
Yeah, you can check them, and then you go to the label thing and say, I want them all to go in there. I'm not going to do it. And then if you apply, then they're all in that folder.
Just like go to the computer class one. Because that one I've got broken out into brown and orange.
Oh, and then you've got them broken even further down. So, I mean, it does let you organize it. Just remember, you can't delete the one here.
Yeah.
When you put it in a folder, if you want it to not show up here, you have to right-click and say, don't show in home. But I had students who shared it to me, put it in a folder, then deleted it. And I'm like, you deleted it. Now, if they transfer ownership to you, they can't delete it. But as long as they're the owner and they're sharing it to you, they can delete it all they want to. And as far as I know, there's no recycle bin.
I don't think so.
I don't think there's any way to get it back. They delete it from Google Docs. It's just boom.
Once they turn it in, it's a good idea to have them change the ownership to you, so then they can't change anything.
You could.
Well, it just
Do they not
depends
think
when
of
it's like a final
If it's the
thing.
final thing, but if you want
You could have them change the ownership to you immediately.
Because I mean, if I had to turn something in by midnight and I was in high school and smart enough to realize it, I'd get back on there and
Yeah.
But
Well,
you can see that.
the advantage of them transferring ownership to you is that they can't take away your view privileges after that. Because you own it.
See, it does.
So
have-
I
it will
think it's a
send
good
it-
idea to do that.
It will send it to the trash, and then you have to.
Yeah, you
click
can.
on
Okay,
that.
so you can't. They're still there for a while.
Yeah.
Okay.
So you check them and say empty the trash.
They can also change it to a language that they can't figure out how to change it back. I've had students do that before. So they've gone and done this and picked. They've gone to the settings and picked, Arabic, and then they're like, I can't get it back. It's like, you dummy. What'd you think it was going to do when you switched it to Arabic? Show it in Arabic. I didn't think everything would be in Arabic.
That'd be kind of cool for if you had the Spanish or French kids, though.
It would be.
It converts it.
Yeah.
Yeah, if you go and say that I don't know if it converts the whole document, but it converts everything
You also have to
here.
understand it would be a literal translation,
Right.
which means your
Yeah,
verb subject matter wouldn't necessarily agree.
Right. Because there was a guy that did a class that I went to at ETech, and he talked about how, like, they were getting ready to do final exams, and he got this girl from Korea in his class that spoke no English at all, chemistry now. And so she just happened to take a chem final, and he took it, threw it into the Google Converter, because there's an actual app that's just a converter, and she, through her interpretation back to him, said, it's not perfect, but she was able to get through it and do it. She understood what to do.
That's the definition of grading on a curve. Oh,
Yeah.
sorry. You're still getting an A.
I'm trying to think what else there would be there. Is there anything specific that you would like to see that it can do? Because really the only way to get your feet wet with it is just to do it. I mean, if you walk out here today and you don't ever make one, I think you're losing out on it for one, because again, the two big things are, one, I can get to it anywhere. I've got my phone or my pad or whatever,
laptop, anywhere I can get on the internet, I got it. I mean, that's why I like putting my stuff in my T drive over there, because I can still get to it. Even though I can remote from home, it's a lot faster on here than remoting and getting to my
And if your
machine.
computer, I mean, my computer crashed my junior year of college. Like, if everything would have been on there.
Yeah, I did one paper when I had an older machine. This is when I still had a dot matrix printer. Did the whole paper, when saved to print it, had not saved it, and all of a sudden it just started scrolling.
There's also a program you can put on your computer called Synchronize that lets you say anything in this folder, always keep on Google Docs. And so I have a folder here at work, and I have a folder on my computer at home. So if I drop something in that folder, it goes to Google Docs, and then it goes on my desktop at home. Because it syncs between Google Docs and that folder in two different places. So I just drag anything I'm working on right now into that, and the next time I'm anywhere, it's on Google Docs and it's
So you
good.
go home, some 16-year-old kids got into your computer and stolen all your personal information.
So I don't put everything on there. I keep tons of stuff on Google Docs. Yeah. Socials, all my taxes are on my Google Docs.
Really?
I'm not kidding. I keep
There's a
everything.
big fight right now that Google says that
It's
they're,
not going anywhere.
But I just have to
There.
get onto it.
that Google is not protecting your stuff,
So,
and that they believe that they don't have to. That the only one using,
Yeah,
I mean,
ridiculous
have
kind of
to
stuff
share
to
with
start
them,
bringing up.
that they're just saying the heck with it.
I have a regular
You know, even though they're upset about it, I just read that reason.
And that's
People are
where
really upset that they don't protect information,
That's what I was
Because you
gonna
have to say, that's what I do. Because
So
I
you
got
can use your other
but
account.
they decided
You're gonna have
You can be on both of them at the same time.
That's
Because
okay.
we had
Yeah, you
somebody
could
that
use
did
a-
that at E-Tech.
Oh.
Yeah, you can.
So you
No,
can
like-
share
and they don't think they're going to
whatever
lose
you put
people
on here, you
using
can just share it to
stuff
the other one.
Right.
because they can't go anywhere.
They're not
That's what
selling
I
it.
do. Because
You know, all you have to do is go right here. See, when I go onto the account, I can go down here and say switch account, and then you can go ahead and sign into another account. You could be
my
on
phone. I can switch between accounts.
right there. See it? If I here, I'll go to it again. If I go here, I go down. It says switch account, sign into another account. And then Jeff could put his personal Gmail account in there, and he can be in both at the same time. They can both be open together.
I was like on the tablet, I actually have
Or you can just,
like 4 or
you don't
5
even have to do
actually.
that. You can just open another tab, go straight into regular
Mine
Gmail.
just says sign out.
I like that way because then
I've
advantage
had to
of it.
ask though.
Me too, if you want to switch.
Yeah, if you want to switch, or do you want to run both at the same time?
I say run them both at the same time because that's the whole.
No, I mean it'll ask you. You know.
That's why I don't do it that way. Because I don't. Doesn't it ask you that each time?
Yeah.
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 That's
But-
why I just pop open another.
Except for
tab.
like on my tablet,
Tab feed in.
on my tablet it doesn't. On a tablet, basically, you have like in the mail area where it says whatever Google whatever
Right.
Gmail you're on, click it and a little menu opens up and you just pick one of the other ones.
Right.
And the nice thing is that you can actually do that and check all your other ones to see if you have any new mail in it before you actually
I
open
didn't know
it.
that.
Oh, so you had them make a Google Doc with all the grades in it to show what average
Yeah,
they're
my
supposed
8th
to have.
graders are doing that right now. They're taking their class and stuff from last 9 weeks, putting it in so that they can work on their formulas, and then they're going to build their 4th 9 weeks so they can start adding. They're like, well, why do we got to put the formula in? Because this is messed up. I'm like, as soon as you put your first thing in there, it's going to start calculating it. So I'm also trying to get them to talk to their teachers about why would this calculation be different from what I see on Moodle, which opens the whole like, hey, this is worth more than this part. Here's how you find that. Just to try to get them to think a little bit, especially getting ready to go to high school where there's weighted classes and stuff like that. I can't think of anything else.
Are you
Right?
doing when are you doing forums?
What?
When are you doing forums? Is it your
Where?
next session? No.
When?
Your next session?
Yeah.
Bummer.